Welcome, everyone. We are back with Fiction in Real Life. I'm Heather B. Moore, and I'm here with Jennifer Moore and Jen Geigle Johnson. We're missing Julie Daines, who is traveling this week, but we do have a really fun giveaway. So we're going to start with that. It is called, the book is An Improbable Season by Rosalind Eves, and it just barely came back. I think, didn't it just come out this week?
Maybe yesterday. I don't know.
So it's brand new, and the way you get entered to win the giveaway is just comment on one of our live streams. And usually we give commenters like a few days, right, before we like pick the winner. Also, another thing too is we are always looking for submissions. So you can just email us at fictionirlauthors@gmail.com. And we're just looking for any little stories or anecdotes you have about kind of things that have happened in your life that are stranger than fiction. And today we are going to talk about some travel stories that had, well, let's see, they all ended up with good outcomes, but they're kind of shocking travel stories, maybe. Do you want to go first, Jennifer, with yours?
I'm just going to read it because
Oh, Jennifer.
Oh, no, we lost her. Oh, dear.
That's okay. Let's start with you, Jen, and then when Jennifer gets back on, we'll go to
Jennifer back in. Okay. So mine is a fiction in real life, but it's so relatable. Like, literally, this has happened to me. So I guess if Mindy Holt and I share this experience, it's got to be relatable to more of you.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I clicked over to look at it, and everybody disappeared. So
it's okay. Jen's going to tell her story first, and then we'll go to you, Jennifer. Awesome.
So it's a relatable fiction in real life. I guess that's possible. So Mindy said when her girls were younger, they went to Disneyland. And as soon as they landed, went to the hotel, they couldn't find her one daughter's shoes. And the whole trip, she was complaining, thinking that an airport worker had like stolen her shoes out of the luggage. And it was like her thing. And she was mad and they were unhappy. There we go. Yes. And so then they, the whole trip, it was kind of a thing bugging Mindy. And then they get home. And they're unpacking, and in the front pocket, in the very front, there's a zipper pocket, and it's sort of like you forget it's there. The shoes were in that pocket, and they never check. So now whenever anything's lost, her family jokes with her and teases, and like it's the TSA agents that stole it. But that's literally happened to me. And one time I was home and I was like looking for it was my hair straightener. I was looking for my hair straightener and I was like, it's gone. I have it. And then like, it's like a clarity moment. Oh, I haven't seen it since this one trip. And I remember putting it in that front pocket, and I dug around the top of my husband's closet, pulled everything out and opened the front pocket, and there was my straightener. So beware that front pocket. It hides things that you lose for weeks. It was like, I put chargers in there. So anyway, our fiction in real life is things disappear mysteriously in suitcases, and because our memory returns, we find them. I don't know if I'd book this. What do you think, Heather? I don't know.
So would you book it, Jen?
I think it wouldn't be the main part of any story, right? But it could be in there. I think it's a cool human, like relatable thing to include in a story. So yeah.
Okay. What about you, Jennifer? Would you book that story?
I'm also, I don't know, I might have to do it a little bit differently. I'll say yes. And I mean, just the idea of thinking that someone else has done something, you know what I mean? I've done that for sure. We had this. And also, those front pockets, some of them, sometimes you unzip it and it's not very deep. And then there's another one, at least in my suitcase, it's deep. And so sometimes I'm like, nothing's in here, but so I'll just tell this quick thing really quick. One time my sister lost her phone and we could not find it anywhere. We were in St. George at my parents' house, and my parents don't live there all the time was the thing. Anyway, so she ended up getting a new phone, and it was this whole thing. And we all got together down there, like it was probably a year or so later. And it was in the pocket of one of my dad's suit coats. And he had, like we'd gone to church or something, and he had found it and just put it in there and then put it in his closet. And anyway, but yes, so we've all done that. So
suit coat pockets are like suitcase pockets. They hold all kinds of stuff.
And then you don't use them every day. So
exactly.
So
it's so easy. In fact, this morning I was walking out the door. I thought, where is my purse? I must have left it in the car last night, which I try not to do, even though our garage is closed. I feel like, try not to leave my purse in the car. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go look in the car. It's there. It's early in the morning. I don't want to like search the house because I have it like one or two places. So I get to the car and it's on my shoulder. Where's my purse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a very bookable story just because it's so relatable, and that and you can create a character that maybe as part of her character she loses things a lot, and it's always kind of a ridiculous place or a ridiculous reasons why it disappeared. Anyway, so I think it's kind of a fun story.
I love it. Yeah, it's great. Thank you, Mindy,
Okay.
for sharing.
Yeah. Okay, Jennifer, what's your story?
Okay, I'm not going to click over there. I've got to open. So do we say the person's name? Do we?
You can say the first name. Yeah.
Okay, so this is from Shay, and I'm just going to tell you, it's my parents went on a cruise. One of their stops was in Chile. They got off and went walking around the city. They came to a spot where the sidewalk became narrow and there were walls on both sides. A group of men came at them, and one pulled a gun on them and demanded they give them their purse and wallet. Anyway, and then she goes on to say her parents are in their 70s. And that just isn't that terrifying? So she said, my mom was not about to give up her purse, even with a gun pointed at her. So my dad, he said they're in their 70s. He said no as well. So the guy holding the gun hit her dad in the head. She said, clocked my dad on the head with a gun, and it made her dad mad. I cannot, my parents are in their 70s. There's no way they would fight back in this situation, but Shay's parents are not about this. So she said her dad had worked construction his whole life. He had wrestled. He's in really good shape. And he said his hands are the size of dinner plates. So he's got a big dad. Anyway, he was so mad. He grabbed the guy with one hand on the neck and the one on his crotch. I don't know how. Anyway, I'm trying to imagine. I guess you just like picked him up and threw him over the wall, and he like went down a hill. And the other bad guy saw this, and they all ran. And so they went back to the cruise ship, and there had been things like this before. And he had a gash on his head, and the doctors had to check him out and stuff. And then I'll tell you, this is one of those things where unless you set up this character, this grandma and grandpa already, that you know he's strong. Mm-hmm. This is one of those things that is like one of those stories that it does not seem like it could really happen, like a fiction in real life thing. So I would say no, just because it seems so crazy. Don't you think it's just too out of the realm of, you know?
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, unless you obviously know that this was kind of a unique situation. What about you, Jen? Would you book it?
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking it's a challenge to try to make it believable. That's where my mind went. Immediately, I was like, okay, how could I write this so this could, like, people would believe this guy? Mm-hmm. And so, because I always embrace a challenge, like I can never just step back from something that sounds intriguing, I would try it. I don't know if I would successfully do it, but I would try, because that's cool. This big guy who's still got all his strength, and he could just, like, you know, I mean, there are some men in the world like that. So yeah.
Plus, I think adrenaline.
Yeah. I can't even imagine with a gun. I could imagine if they were just guys.
Yeah, that's pretty. And so presumably he hit him on the head with the gun, still holding the gun, and the dad was grabbing him even though he has a gun. That's right. Pretty.
He threw him like gun and all over.
Yeah, that's gutsy.
Yeah,
gutsy. What do you, Heather? Would you book this?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of wavering because obviously the story is awesome. I'm just trying to think of how I would place it. Whether it's a main character or a side character, but I do like the story because it's so unexpected. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if this has happened on this cruise ship so many times, they're probably warned, you know, don't go in these neighborhoods, or, you know, be home by be back to the ship by this time. Yeah. Because they're obviously easy prey. I mean, so it's kind of sad that way that these guys would target an elderly couple. Yeah. Thinking they're easy prey, but then they have the element of surprise. Yeah. I know at the time is probably horrible, but looking at it now, it's just, you just want to say, yay, good job, like cheering them on. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'd probably lean toward if it fit in the story that I was writing, I would book it. It's something that I don't think I'll forget.
Yeah, true. So some of our comments are fun. Old guys rule, says a Facebook user.
Right.
Tia's absolutely done that before with her phone. Someone says, if you felt your wife, girlfriend, or child was in danger, it'd be more believable for someone to toss a person over a wall.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true. I think
You're right.
That defense kicks in, and you're not even thinking about the gun or the danger to yourself. You're just almost reacting.
You're right. I didn't even think about that. He's got his wife there, and he's not messing around. And maybe he could see in the person's eye when the guy hit him with the gun, he knew the guy wasn't a gun shooter. You know what I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm surprised at how many, the older you get, the younger everybody else older than you is. So when I talk about my dad sometimes, they're like, how old is he? And I'm like, oh, he's like 70, late 70s. They're like, oh, he's so young. So I feel like, there's a realm of possibility that they're still in the young group too, right? So it's not like, they're teetering around with a cane yet necessarily. I don't know. Anyway, interesting.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. And a lot of people work, up into almost 80. And so some are very, very spry. Yeah. So
in 20 years, when we're all back together, we're all going to be like, we're still young. I
know. We're babies now.
Yeah. So that's fun.
Anyway, well, awesome. Well, thanks. Those are fun stories today. So just as a reminder that we would love for you to send us more stories. Both of these stories were from our listeners / readers or watchers. And just write to us at fictionirlauthors@gmail.com. And don't forget that our giveaway is An Improbable Season by Rosalind Eves. And all you have to do is comment in the next few days on one of our posts. We're on YouTube, we're on all of our Facebook pages, and we'll enter you into that giveaway. So thank you so much. And this is Fiction in
Real Life.
See you later. Have a good week, everybody.